Hello everybody, and thank you for joining me today. My name is Gabriel Brent, and we are going to be doing the Apazone Swing Pub. This is a pub where we're only going to be talking about the forex markets. We're going to be looking at swing trading them, and we are going to be giving you our assumptions going into this. Okay, so first off, we're looking at a weekly, daily, and 60-minute time frame. All these could be combined into one chart, but just for the sake of the presentation today, we're going to be kind of drawing them out just a little bit just so that it's hopefully easier for everybody to follow along. Okay. So as we look at doing this stuff, you'll also notice that we have this wonderful little market analyzer. What that allows us to do is it allows us to look at our elite software, which gives us trend and trading ideas in direction of trend based upon price action type of idea and setup and different trend criteria. And then it also allows us to scan actively for when price is bouncing off of one of our zones here. So we're going to make an assumption that you know what the apozones is, what all these colors mean of the zones, how price interacts with them, and why price changes the different colors as such. So if you don't know that, please feel free to go to our website and we will enlighten you on our trend following methodology. That being said, let's go ahead and get started here on the Aussie CAD. Looking at the Aussie CAD, we are looking at a big weekly range, I feel. Okay, we see where low is, we see where high is, and we are right smack dab in the middle. All right. As we move down to the daily time frame, I feel that, well, price did exactly what we were looking for it to do last week. We wanted to see it come down off of this level, pop back up right to where we are. So I guess you could say we have these two things done right here. Okay, check. We're done with that. Now, are we going to see the drop again from this level here? And that's really kind of what I'm looking at. As far as giving us a buy opportunity, our trend is to the upside, so I'd rather be buying low than I would be selling high. Okay. I do know that we're in the weekly supply area, or roughly about in the weekly supply area. So, but it's kind of in the middle still, and it definitely feels like it's in the middle on the daily, but the supply side is a little bit closer than the demand side on the big weekly chart. So from my perspective, I would like to see if price can't bounce off of this zone here, this nice little aqua zone, and give us a money bounce off that level. All right. So as we peel down into the 60-minute time frame, we want to know when, where, why, and how to enter this thing. All right. So when do we want to enter this? Well, we want to wait until price action has given us some confirmation of this level here. Okay. We want to say price has failed to go any higher, and it's going to be doing the opposite. All right. We know that price is touching a 60-minute level. All right. And I'm looking for price to tell me that it's done something major, that it's actually failed to go any higher. Right now, it's a little too early to say that as far as where we are in this grand scheme of things, what we're going to be looking for, all that kind of good stuff. We know where we are in the marketplace and the possibility for a downside push. I mean, look at that potential reward there. You know, just down to the next level. Even from this little blue line that I drew there. And what this blue line represents to me is price confirming that it's going to be doing something, okay? I really want to see price being outside of these two little pivots here, okay? So if we look at one of those two different pivots, like there's still a good amount of profit on both of those to the downside. So that's what I'm looking for on that type of idea of price confirming. Now, when do we want to be doing this? That's a really good question. I like to be doing it at the tops and the bottoms of the hour, basically 5 minutes before or after. So that's what I like to do personally. Okay, now is that going to happen with this one? I don't know. It's not setting up to do that just yet, but that's the kind of stuff that I'm looking for. And I'd also like to see a nice little red diamond up there too, if I'm going to be looking to do something to the short side. But again, this is a counter trend trade. So if this is counter trend and you're playing kind of here in the middle of all that range, use small targets and small stops. You know, we don't want to be asking for too much. Okay, we've spent a lot of time here on the daily, and I really want to make sure that we're managing our risk well. Okay, but realize that we're in the middle. This isn't really the area that we want to be doing stuff in a counter trend mentality. So use caution when approaching something like this. Aussie CAD on the weekly. Again, I would feel like we're kind of, or excuse me, Aussie Swiss on the weekly. I feel like we are in the middle of the range, moving back and forth, and we're retesting this high. This zone has had a little bit of resistance to it, but I'm still looking at the blue zone just above to really give us the resistance or the supply that we're needing. On here, on the daily time frame, we are in a ranging market, is what the daily elite system tells us. We are moving to the upside of that range, but this is the top of the range up there at the big yellow level. Okay, so just be mindful of that. All right, so right now it's not time to do anything. Maybe we might see this zone reform, but right now I'm not really that interested in this level. Actually, William, are you there?
Yes, I am.
All right, good deal. William, I'm going to go ahead and let you have this one here.
Okay.
And give you keyboard and mouse control.
All right.
Why don't you tell us
Hello,
what you think?
everybody. All right. Yeah. Uh, yeah. Hello, everybody. I'm William. I'm gonna be talking about the Aussie Yen pair here, and on here on the weekly, you can see this Aussie Yen's been in a downtrend. We just got a nice drop from this fresh weekly supply zone, and it seems like we're coming back up to retest it. And overall, this thing's been a nice downtrend. Most recent moves been kind of in a range bound, stuck in between this weekly supply and this weekly demand down here. And like I said earlier, we're coming back up to retest this weekly supply level. But let's scan over to the daily chart and see what we can see on it. And here we are on the daily, and you can see how the range has been playing out here on the daily chart. Back and forth, pretty much between these two yellow zones. And here's our most recent move. We almost visited the yellow zone again, didn't quite get there, just a few pips shy of it. But you can see price is starting to come back to retest this aqua level up here. Okay, once we get up here in this top of this range again, you can expect, I would expect price to, either respect this level and drop, or respect this level, not respect this level, take it out and revisit this yellow level here. But we're not there yet. Right now we're just kind of stuck in the middle of the range. Coming back up to revisit this aqua level here on the daily. This daily aqua level supply, this daily supply aqua level here. Okay, so um, I'd like to stay away from counter trend plays because this thing could stop shy of this level and come back down. It could respect this trender like it did back here and come down, but that's yet to be seen. I would rather wait to see it respect either this aqua level or this yellow level and then take the short to the downside. So that's my take on this pair. You can even see the trend. His trend indicator indicates that the trend is down and rangy. So this software is doing a nice job of identifying the most current trend that we're in. And if you're going to play the trend and you're in a range-bound market, your rules should be to play the extremes of the range. So this aqua level or this yellow level is the extreme of the range. So just keep that in mind when you're looking to enter. Okay. Let's go to Aussie Dollar. And here we are on the weekly chart. Aussie Dollar, this thing's just in an uptrend, bouncing off this weekly demand. Been going up ever since. Looks like it's been about 3 months, 4, 5, 8, 3.5 months. Been moving up off this level. So now here we are back at the weekly supply zone, fresh aqua level. We're now just waiting to see if price is going to respect this level or not. So let's go to the daily. And here on the daily, you see the trends in play, uptrend. All demand levels pretty much being respected. We even just made a higher high here. I don't know if this level's going obviously this level's going to get taken out. It's really just a temporary resistance zone. But I'm looking to see what price is going to do once we get up in these upper levels here, and it's just aqua level here, or just even the aqua level above it, to see if we get a drop or not. Okay. So the trend is up. Right now it's a little too late to enter if you're looking to enter long. Well, I wouldn't necessarily say that, but if you're looking to enter long, you think price is going to get up in this level somewhere, you can probably take a small target up in this zone somewhere. But I'm just stay out and see what happens. I'm a more patient trader. I don't really care. My rules tell me to not take trades like this. I wait for better entries. Like this level down here would have been a nice entry to go long. Even so, back here would have been a nice entry to go long. So, but I'm just gonna wait and see what happens when price gets up in this level, because I'm pretty sure it's gonna get there here in the next couple days, maybe by next week, and then we'll see what happens from there. What's your take on this pair, Gabe?
Yeah, it's we're in on the weekly level, so it's and things are saying it's to the upside here. So I would really be waiting for another pullback, and I think hitting long right now is super duper aggressive, and you'd really have to scalp into that type of position. So I would say wait for sure.
Yeah, that's my sentiment exactly. But yeah, so just keep that in mind if you're looking to get in on this pair. Wait for the pullback, like me and Gabe have been alluding to. Let's see if it gets up in this aqua level and get a pullback back down, and then we can continue our ride back up. So that's my take on this market. Let's see here. Let's get out of here. You want me to take the Euro pound, or you want to speak on it for a little bit?
You can take it. That's fine.
All right. Okay. Euro pound. Ooh, look at that. Nice drop. Here we are in the Euro pound. And as you can see, this Euro pound's been ripping up just on a nice tear, ever since last November. We've just been going higher and higher and higher and higher. And here we are at this weekly supply zone. Retesting it. Seems like it's being respected. This is a bearish engulf. Let's see if this candle closes below this wick here. That's going to be a bearish engulf signal. It might not necessarily mean a whole lot, because it even happened back here because we're in an uptrend. But this trend might reverse on us. I don't know if it's gonna, but it could. You know, if we get this engulfed, if this closes in the Gulf, and then we get price to come back to retest this zone again, and we get another drop, might be time for a trend reversal. Okay, but let's go over to the daily and see what's going on. And you can see the uptrend's intact. It's been intact the whole way up, and then here we are revisiting that supply zone weekly. We got supply zone weekly, daily and weekly supply zone confluence here. We just formed a new daily supply zone. It's fresh. Looks like we're coming back down here to retest this blue demand on the daily. And if we get back down in here, we might get another pop back up, as I was saying, to see that retest on the weekly. And if we get another drop from it, it might be time to take shorts and look for a trend reversal. So, but that's yet to play out. Let's just take our time and wait and see what happens. So far, the trend's still up. So if we get back down here, it'd be a nice opportunity to take longs back up to here. And, you know, that's what I would be waiting for, as that weekly bar might be getting retested. So I would look to take longs here in this blue demand level here. Okay. But we got to wait and see what happens. We're not there yet. Let's just sit on our hands and wait. And we got to play the waiting game. That's what trading's all about. Let's be patient and see what happens. All right. Here we go, Eurodollar. I know you've been liking to talk about this, but you want to talk about this one, Gabe? You want to take Eurodollar?
Sure, sure.
All right.
Well, the Eurodollar has been doing some very interesting things here. We've been talking about this pattern now for a couple months, but it's both playing out here on the Eurodollar as well as the New Zealand dollar. And as we're looking at this thing, it's made a very interesting type of price action move in my mind, where you can see price has been, and this is more or less our weekly perspective, so this is technically, you know, this could take the rest of the year for this thing to happen. As I look at this, though, these are really good signs that we're getting a little retest here of the daily demand, new daily demand that's being formed inside of weekly supply, which means that there's a shift going on right now. Supply and demand is shifting over time, and we actually get to see what it looks like as it's actually happening here. So it's really, really exciting stuff. We've seen some excellent moves to the upside here over the past couple months, and looks like it's going to be continuing. I enjoy seeing the new high on that red candle. Even though it does print a red candle, I still feel that that uptrend is intact. On the daily, we have the elite system telling us that we are up and trending. You can see where the nice bounce is here on the daily zone to where we've broken through daily supply, and we bounced off of the higher daily supply, come right back down to daily demand, and it's a very interesting area. So, excuse me, hopefully you can kind of see how supply and demand are shifting over time and that fractal nature that we like to talk about. Levels and levels. I think it'd be really good to identify the weekly level just so that you can identify how the weekly level is right there, okay? But the daily level, if you look at the daily level, it was there before the weekly level. So the weekly level is now standing on the daily level. And we have confluence right here at that point, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's just really, really interesting. Now, if we have so much confluence going on at that one point, what do we have going on here on our 60-minute, okay? Do we have confluence there as well? Well, we don't have exactly confluence there in the typical sense of price bouncing on a level just below us, but what we do have is we have a new aqua level and a lot of range going on here for the past several hours, okay? Because we have a lot of range going on here in the past several hours, to me that says, prices come down here, it's starting to range, and now we're looking to break it to the upside. So just waiting for the right candle pattern to play out here with engulfing candles and confirmation just outside of the newly formed demand level, or actually in this case it would be support, okay? Because on the smaller time frames we call it support, bigger time frames we call it supply and demand. All right, so looking for that fractal nature to work out in our favor, and just identifying the consolidation. If the market is consolidating right here, price comes down, consolidates, and then we should get a nice little explosion, hopefully to the upside in the direction of the overall trend. Okay, so we will see if that happens here or not, but that is what I am looking for. And moving over to the pound Aussie. We've been watching this one, and we have a couple different thoughts. Obviously, this thing has been moving down for the past several months that we've been talking about this, and it still looks like it's doing so. We have new lows on the weekly chart, which is a good sign. On the daily chart, here's the lines, maybe a little bit more so we can actually see what we're looking at here. But we drew in a few different lines here to say, hey, this is what we think is going to happen, okay? And I would say that that's happening, okay? So we're going to knock out the ones that did not happen, all right? And we're going to knock out the one that did happen. Now, since we drew this in place, we've seen this happen, okay? And we've come down and made a new low here, and now I'm looking for price to kind of reconfirm this area, all right, and then push down even lower, all right. So that's how I see things coming about here, all right. I need to see price confirm this level to the upside and then go even lower. So do I know that this is the lowest point? I don't know that. I'm going to assume that even though we are inside of a weekly level here, and we have just broken through it just by a wick, that this thing is going to continue on. And we're going to basically see a flip-flop of supply and demand in the big time scale, okay? And how does that play out in this fractal nature? Well, we're going to be looking for price to bounce off this level up there and then continue on to the downside, right? So that's what I'm waiting for, and just until then, just be patient, and we'll see how that works out. Now, a lot of times, we talk about these big weekly supply and demand levels, and they can hold really good supply and demand, don't get me wrong, but a lot of times they break too. Right? And after the first bounce of fractal confluence of multiple time frames, they will become weaker, and we will see breakage. And here on a lot of the pound currencies, we've been seeing a lot of them to the downside, right? So this kind of stuff really excites me because, man, that's a lot of space that this can fall from this weekly level down to this level. Looking at it on the daily, we are down and trending, all right? And yes, this thing is starting to get kind of consolidated here. We've only seen a small push on the daily to make a new low. I would like to see a bigger push, but it's okay. We may need to take a break, and that's fine. I have no problem letting price take a break, all right? I have a good idea of what's going on here. I'm just going to assume that the trend is going to continue. I don't mind seeing a retest up into the upper parts of this level here. All right, and I would say maybe even up into there. So I'm looking more for that that blue zone that we've already had the money bounce off of. It may respect here, I don't know, but I'm also going to have to measure out my risk to reward on this stuff. If I don't have enough risk to reward for my targets, then that could cancel out taking out a trade off of this aqua level. So you just have to wait longer, you know. So if you're going to be risking something like this, you know, then as price leaves the zone, you need at least that much to get down to a 1-to-1 ratio. Okay, if you're just going to take a price bounces off of there. If you're going to do a 2-to-1 ratio, you know, then it needs to be all the way down there, roughly. Okay, so I'm just going to wait patiently, and but I definitely would like to see this thing go to the downside. Okay, and just let the trend be your friend. Moving over to the Kiwi Dollar. This has been a very exciting one for me here. Just like the Eurodollar, we're seeing the same pattern. Here you can see how much space to the upside, and there's no levels in between here until we could be retesting that aqua level above us. Okay. On the daily, we have the trend as being up, and we drew a line to the upside here. You know, so getting on board down here when price came down here and consolidated for the past few days, and then gave us a nice little retest of the high. That's pretty cool. Okay, so now it's come back down a little ways, you know, so maybe it's a little second grab, and we will see if this this high can stay in place here or not. Okay, so but that was a real good retest. It does look like it's failing. However, it might just mean that we're going to a period of range, you know, and then we know why the range is from up here to down here. So, but I'm still looking to the upside on this market as well. Last but not least, I think I'm going to have William cover this one. Would you mind?
Not a problem. All right, let's talk about this dollar CAD. And here on the weekly, you can see dollar CAD's been in a range, not a range, but in a trend, downtrend. Nice fall from this weekly supply up here, this blue weekly supply. Just got a retracement off of this aqua level a couple weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, but we fell, came back into it, fell through it, made a lower low. This trend's down, so I'm expecting this trend to continue down. Let's look over, let's take a look at the daily, see what we got. Come on, blow up, blow up. Blow up. There we go. There we go. All right. And here on the daily, you can see nice downtrend. All the supply zones on the way down being respected pretty much, making lower lows, lower highs, lower lows. Here we are at this daily demand, getting a little retest off of it. Now, since the trend's down and we want to play the trend, as the trend's our friend, and the trend's down and trending, we're waiting to see price react off of this level up here. We want to see price react off this level up here. Will it get there? We got to find out. We'll just have to wait and see. But see, Gabe, I keep looking at these lows over here, and I don't know if price is going to respect these lows and then fall, or if we're going to get back to this level and then fall. But those are my two points of view on this market. See that?
Absolutely.
Right? You know
Uh,
what I'm saying? Price. Yeah. Oh, go ahead.
I totally know where you're coming from. It's basically
Yeah.
a flip-flop here,
Mhm.
or the bigger pullback would be something like that. So
Mhm.
nobody knows what price is going to do, but we're just looking for the logical fractal type of play to happen. So this is very, very quick. If this is going to happen, you really got to use that entry chart well to get into something to the downside. So,
Mhm.
however, if you're using the confluence off the daily time frame, or if that daily zone, I should say, and entering to the downside, that's going to be really pretty too. You know, like I think that will just be wonderful. And but yeah, I still feel like everything is pointing to the downside. The question is, how much love are we going to get off of this level right here? So,
Mhm. My sentiment exactly. Um, so those are my 2 points of view, and I think whoever's out in the audience, if you're looking to get in on this pair, you should be thinking the same way. Um, if you see price respect the flip flop, you want to take a short off of it, go ahead and do so. Just use your targets and your stops appropriately. The more upfront approach, the more I can't say I'm gonna get my words tangled up, but this will be the more uh, this will be the option we'd like to see. But if we don't get this option, keep your eye out for this option as well. At these lows, these prior lows becoming resistance and getting our drop from there. So those are 2 options I'm looking to see play out on this pair. So yeah, that's about it. Anything else? Is there any more pairs? No, that's it, right?
I'm pretty sure, yep, you are
Yep.
correct. But just want to thank everybody for joining us today. And for everybody in the live audience, we'll be moving into our Q&A time. And we will be doing this again next week. So don't forget to click and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And we will see you next time.